All right, good Saturday early evening. How are you, Carl, the Catalyst here? I love calling myself the Catalyst more than a coach, actually. I love being the spark in whatever way I can be. So, anyway, it's all about tapping the potential, living your passion to the fullest. That's the bottom line. So, everything we talk about is within that context. And whatever we can do to move forward with our goals, intentions, dreams, whatever, it's a good thing, right? So we're going to talk about hurdles. So hurdles appear almost instantly the moment you set a goal or a dream or an objective, even just planning a vacation. There are things that get in the way that weren't in the way the moment before you decided that you're going to go do something, right? Obvious, but just bear with me for a little bit. So if we know that hurdles are going to come up as a function of our intentions, our goals, our decisions, our commitments, then the question becomes how to best deal with them. So typically when a hurdle, obstacle, challenge, an unexpected obstacle appears, we will just absolutely by default, intrinsically, inevitably, initially view it as a problem. Right? Obviously, we would rather not have obstacles in the way. We would rather be able to move forward towards where we want to be getting going. Easier than harder, right? Obviously. So, in contrast to that are the hurdles. And when they come up, like I just mentioned, the initial perception or interpretation will be, this is a problem, this is not good, I'd rather not have these problems in the way. But they do come up. So what do we do about them? Here are 3 quick little ideas on that. Number 1, first of all, recognize hurdles for what they are. Number 1, they're built in. Number 2, they are fuel for new growth, which I'll mention a little bit more about in a second. That given the fact that they're a fact of life, that there's always stuff getting in the way of stuff, right? That it's intrinsic to the very, very fundamental fabric of life. So then, therefore, I look to nature and I look at the obstacles that it deals with. And what's it do with it? First of all, this may seem obvious or maybe not, I'm not sure. But the first thing that nature does not do is judge the problem, issue, challenge, hurdle, whatever, as a problem. Doesn't freak out, doesn't react. It responds. And most importantly, the most important word that I could use for this entire life is transform. Nature will transform its stuff into new creations, new solutions, new developments to better survive and thrive. So, all right, number 1, hurdles are going to come up. Fact. Be proactive about having an attitude and a perspective where when you set an intention, not necessarily be on the lookout for the obstacles, but just when they arrive, say, yeah, there it is. There they are. And it's fine. There's nothing wrong here. Just a quick little reminder can be a nice way to start the momentum towards what you want. So you recognize that there are things in the way. You've decided that you're going to play a little game. It's like you're going to be on the lookout for those obstacles. As soon as you set a goal or dream, you know there's stuff that's going to come up in the way. You recognize that as a fact of life. You play the game with saying, all right, it's going to happen. So what are those obstacles in the way? Not a problem. Not a problem. As a matter of fact, and here's the paradox, and I love paradox, that if you can take those obstacles, problems, hurdles, whatever, and recognize that those are opportunities to transform. Now, transform what? we'll mention in a moment. The opportunity to transform from where the stuff that is currently in your life to what you want it to be, whatever that goal, dream, or objective is in any area of your life. That difference, that's the movement that we're looking for. The hurdles seem to be in the way of that movement, but the paradox is sometimes, maybe always, those are the very things that will help you move forward. It's the fuel for new growth. That's what I like to call it. So that's the first thing, knowing that as soon as you set a goal or a dream, that those hurdles are now going to appear. And you are going to just look at it and say, yep, there it is. Nothing wrong here. Cool. Let's see. What can we do with it? What's the opportunity here? What's, dare I say, perfect about this? Crazy question, but a powerful one if you're willing to play with that. What's the opportunity? What's perfect about this obstacle, this hurdle that has now appeared as a function of what I am seeking to do, be, or experience, or create? So I actually, and I normally don't do this, but I took a couple of notes here. So that's the first point. Nothing wrong. Work with it. Okay. Number 2. This is a big one. It's related to what I was just talking about. The more we see a hurdle as a problem, the more it's going to become so. And there are problems in life, to be sure. And there are unexpected developments and challenges. Oh my God, look at the world today. Wow. Right? I'm not really talking about that stuff right now, though this applies to that as well. I'm talking about when you set a goal or a dream or an intention, that's when the stuff comes up, the challenges to getting there or being there, and to not see those as a problem or something to overcome, but actually, and this is the most radical statement, is to actually maybe even get a little excited because you know, and you've proven yourself, or you can as an experiment, that when crap comes up, use it. That's it. That's the main thing to take from this live. When crap comes up, use it. And don't be surprised when crap comes up when you are looking to achieve something. Use it as fuel for new growth. Most powerful thing I can do with any challenge that ever comes up, whether it be a function of one of my goals or dreams or the unexpected that happens in life. So number 2 was, we make things much, much, much harder if we see things as problems. So be on the lookout for when we're seeing it as such. And then remind yourself of number 1, which is it's built in. It can be used as fuel for new growth. Just go back to that. So the third point is when a problem comes up, instead of trying to solve the problem, see if you can work with the problem. Again, same idea, but I'm going to take it a little further here. So one of the ways to solve a problem or hurdles that come up, it's really stupid, silly, simple, but so powerful and cuts to the chase. And that is to simply remember your intent like it's a done deal. Now, I am working on launching my life's work, 25 years in the making. I have promised myself and others that by the end of 2020, it's going live. Messy, imperfect, whatever, test, beta test, pilot test, but it's going to go live before the end of that, end of this year. I have 100 different things to do. I have 100 different questions, and I have 100 different hurdles now in the way because I've declared this. And so make note that when you make a declaration, you can often feel like excited in the beginning, but then all of a sudden getting like, oh, I don't know. because now you're feeling the contrast that the hurdles, the challenges, and the stress or the uncertainty or the fears that those things can trigger, right? So again, be on the lookout for it. Nothing wrong here. Write it. And I'm talking to you, but I'm talking to myself. And it's something to remind ourselves whenever we're given a chance, especially when we're up to something good, special, big, meaningful, impactful, something that is dear to us. It shows up as something big. And again, when we're up to something big, don't be surprised if you have big hurdles coming up. And it's a function of the scope and vision of what we're seeking. So again, back to number 3 is finding a way to move with the problem by asking yourself questions like, what's the opportunity? What can I do with this? How can I get help with this? How can I get a different perspective on this? How might this be the best thing that I could ever get clear on? For example, if I am thinking about putting together this launch, getting organized is the worst thing for me to have to go through. That's not how my mind thinks, to put things into planned, rigid, linear form. And every time I go for it, I struggle with it. And it's that struggle is made harder because I think, oh my God, this is such a big deal. It's like, I got to plan this stuff. I got to map it all out to make this launch happen. And so that's a major hurdle that comes up for me. All right, now that I want to launch, the hurdle is, well, how the frig do I get organized? How do I actually do that? It's a big project. It's way bigger than I can handle by myself, and I know it. But I have to take it to a certain point where I can get help from other people, and I'm finding that even to be challenging. However, and here's the main point number 3, is that if I can remind myself to see my objective as if it's a done deal, I'm already there. I've already arrived. Even suggesting that put me there, and I felt instant, no pressure, a feeling of celebration, a feeling of ease, and a feeling of real clarity. Like, gosh, in the end, it was a lot simpler than what I thought. And a lot of the hurdles that I had been battling with, some of them, interestingly, went away by themselves as a function of my clarity, reminding myself, wait a minute, what am I here to do? Not as something to go for, but as something to have already arrived. Use power of imagination to give you that clarity, which then will give you the plan, the how-tos, the synchronicities, and everything to get lined up for that thing to happen. Boy, I forget this. Or if I remember to do this, I kind of try to pretend I'm already there where I want to be. But that's different. I'm talking about actually being there in your imagination. Like, and there's a difference. You can feel it, and I can feel it right now. Again, the pressure's gone. I feel like I've arrived. It's clear. It's been fun. I can see what happened in the past 6 months as I look 6 months in the future, pretending I'm there already. What it took, what happened to have that intention, goal, or dream to come to full fruition. And it wasn't through figuring it out. It wasn't through overcoming the hurdles. It was reminding myself, what's it feel like to be already there? And to go with the hurdles, not to try and solve them, but to recognize that they're there and keep moving and then using them. I don't know. It's really hard to put some of this stuff into words, but what a distinct difference I'm getting. Learning, reminding myself. Pushing, shoving, seeing things as a problem. Oh my gosh, I got things to overcome versus, yeah, right, nothing wrong here. Bumps, hurdles, obstacles, choose your metaphor. When you ride it, amazing things happen. And in retrospect, I can see when I put myself where I want to already be, those hurdles were the very things that got me to where I wanted to be. And I decided, to play with them. not battle them. So I've rambled a little bit. I let myself free flow, perhaps a little bit more today. So hopefully you remember just a couple of touch points like the last one. Crap happens. If I can learn how to ride with them quicker, easier, that crap gets turned into really good shit. It's amazing. That's best case scenario. In the very least, you keep moving through and things get solved a little bit easier, a little bit more effectively. Things get lined up so that in the end, you get what you're looking for. So hopefully a couple of little points or two will land with you. Live with them, play with them, and see what happens. To me, life is one grand experiment. What the hell? Why not live as such? Yeah? All right, guys. See ya.